What's up, guys? I'm BTC. We just got a look at some new stuff that's coming out next week. Brand new Pharah Skin, a bunch of player icons, and more. In addition to that, Blizzard has made some movement changes in the game that are going to have a little bit more of an effect than you might think. In the video I made yesterday, I showed off a lot of the new sprays that the characters are going to be getting, but the images were kind of low quality because they were taken from a video that was posted on the official Overwatch Twitter account. After that video was released, Blizzard ended up just posting high-quality images of all of those sprays. So that's what you're seeing right now. These are all of the new sprays that are going to be added. In addition to that, they also showed off all of the new icons that are going to be added that are character-specific. So these are all of the brand new icons that are going to be added next week. Blizzard is releasing new stuff every day to kind of tease us until the patch goes live. Today, it was the brand new Pharah Skin. Now, when I saw the spray, I thought this was going to be based off of a Protoss unit, the Scout, but as it turns out, it's more of a Cleopatra kind of design. So you can see very clearly that it has that kind of ancient Egyptian kind of look to it with the eye makeup and the beads in the hair. And then, of course, you know, the snake and all that other stuff has a lot of symbolism with Cleopatra. Now, even though it wasn't based off of any of the Protoss units, it does still have a very kind of Protoss feel to it. You know, the gold colors with the light blue for the energy and all that sort of stuff. So again, it's not based on the Protoss units, but I think maybe there was a little bit of inspiration there that was drawn from it. And that leaves us with 3 more skins that have yet to be released. Those are going to be the Diva, the Hanzo, and the Lucio ones. Next thing I wanted to talk about is some of the movement changes that they've made to the game. Now, a lot of people probably just kind of glossed over this. It seemed like it's really not that big of a deal, but there actually might be more to it. So over on the official Overwatch forums, Jeff Goodman, who is the principal designer of Overwatch, made a pretty lengthy post. I'm going to read some of it for you. For the incline changes, he says, there were 2 persistent issues with movement on inclines that we wanted to clean up. First, while moving diagonally on inclines, you would end up being slightly strafed left or right, even if you were only attempting to move forward. This can be a subtle source of aiming issues for many people, and now the player will properly move forward in this situation. Second, movement up and down inclines had inconsistent speed as compared to the ground. Running both up and down an incline would be faster than walking on flat ground. However, faster movement, example McCree's combat role, would be slower when going up and down inclines. Having consistent character movement speed is important for many reasons. The biggest of which is it allows you to be able to reliably know how to aim your hit scan shots or lead your projectile fire. Moving on to acceleration changes. The characters in Overwatch have a fixed acceleration, how fast they can change their movement velocity, depending on if they are in the air or on the ground. Previously, this amount would get reduced if you were attempting to change your direction by 90 degrees or less, and was more pronounced if you were going faster than normal. Example is Winston's jetpack or Doomfist's rocket punch. One of the consequences of this was that if you were in the air traveling forward and wanted to move directly right, you could reach full speed to the right faster if you accelerated backwards to a full stop and then moved to the right, as opposed to simply pressing to the right. Having to do this non-intuitive movement to reach your desired location as fast as possible is less than ideal. So we made a change to allow you to more consistently use the air acceleration you already had to reach the direction you'd like to be moving in. The new acceleration can feel like momentum is no longer conserved like before, but the forward velocity is just more efficiently being converted into sideways velocity. The direction is changing faster, but your overall speed isn't being slowed down. He goes on and gives a bunch of examples. So if you're flying as Pharah, you can now just press forward and you will properly accelerate moving forward instead of having to counter-accelerate to stop sideways drift. If you're leaping as Winston, you can more effectively redirect your velocity around corners. Prior to this rework, it was possible to achieve similar mid-air turns by always facing your current velocity while strafing, but this was also unintuitive. You can now press forward and right directional inputs after a Winston leap, and you will actually move some to the right, whereas previously you would have to only hold right if you wanted to get any acceleration to the right. It does mean getting used to the new strafing power. No longer do you have to hold strafe for a long time to get a small adjustment to your movement. You can simply short hold or tap it as needed, and pressing forward with a left or right command will do smaller adjustments than if pressing left or right alone. This does not substantially affect movement when trying to change movement direction by greater than 90 degrees. Additionally, left and right strafing on the ground and air will be the same, along with attempting to accelerate against a knockback will be the same. We're keeping an eye on these changes to make sure everything is working correctly. Any feedback would be appreciated and would be especially helpful with any screenshots or videos. So what this boils down to is when you're playing Pharah or Winston, you're going to have a lot better control of your character in the air. Now, unfortunately, from what I'm hearing though, for Lucio, it's actually more difficult. Like, it's a really awkward way of moving around with Lucio. Now, I don't play the character, so I'm not entirely familiar with all of the changes that they made, but from everything that I've been hearing, it's making his kind of more advanced movement techniques, like, really awkward to use. Now, just to further explain the changes with greater than 90 degrees movements, what he was talking about, is if you're moving forward and you try to move to the left, that's less than 90 degrees. But if you're moving forward and you try to go backwards, that's greater, because that's 180 degrees. You're trying to go directly back. And that's why it doesn't have any real huge impact when you're getting knocked back from like a Pharah or a Lucio or something like that. If they're trying to boop you off of the map and you're trying to fight back onto the ground directly, that's a 180 degree change in your movement, so it's not really going to be affected by this. However, there are some situations where you kind of get booped at an angle, and with these changes, when you're booped at that correct angle, you can actually use the momentum to kind of turn yourself to the side and get back onto the ground, get back onto the map before you fall off. So there are some situations where this is actually going to help you ever so slightly to get back onto the map and not get booped off. It's really small though, like it's not a massive nerf or anything like that. But that's going to be about it for this one, guys. What did you think of the new Pharah skin? Let me know down in the comments. Also, don't forget to check out my Discord server. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. The links are down below. Thanks for watching. Remember, always blame the controller, because it's never your fault. Also, special thanks to all my Patreon supporters for helping to make this all possible. If you'd like to see what kind of cool rewards you can get for supporting the channel, check the links on screen and down below.